Hey guys, what's up? It's Skurs here. Welcome to this video in which I will show you how to manage your keybinds for the upcoming TBC or TBC if it's live already. It doesn't matter at all. And it doesn't matter if you're into PvP or PvE. I just want to enhance your game experience, and it doesn't have to do with min-maxing or anything whatsoever. It's just very painful for me and maybe for others, maybe for you, to see when people are clicking their abilities or struggling a lot without even knowing any better. But you know better, that's why you're here. And you may not agree with everything I say here, so feel free to give it your own touch if you don't like what I'm about to say. So let's start. And by starting, I mean giving you a quick and dirty fact. Like, if you want to be somewhat decent at this game, you want to absolutely forbid yourself to click any ability with your mouse cursor. Not even your mount. On top of that, you should never use the right side of your keyboard whatsoever for important keybinds. I mean, you could use the right side of your keyboard for like talent tree, map, PvP panel, whatever it's called. You know, those windows that you just open using keys. You can use the right side for that. That's okay. But I'd say the only things you're allowed to click using your cursor are buffs. Okay, you can buff yourself and your mates by clicking the ability. I don't care. But if you want to be a very good arena player, for example, Discipline Priest, Resto Druid, you do not want to manually click your buffs. You don't even want to click your water that you're drinking. You want to bind everything because, for example, you want to bind your rank 1 stamina buff as a priest because you want to sometimes spam it on yourself if you're being dispelled by somebody, so it doesn't dispel your heals instead. You wanted to dispel your rank 1 buff, which basically costs no mana. But that's very specific, alright? You see where I'm going with this. So let's get into the real deal. As I said, you don't want to use the right side of your keyboard at all. You want to use the left side. So I got a few random keybinds consisting of letters on the left side of my keyboard, which are very basic, okay? They are F, R, G, X, Y, C, Z, and T. Super basic. But let's get into some more serious stuff. Out of your numbers, you only want to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You do not want to use 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, whatever there is. That's just too far away from your hand. Just imagine you need to use the ability which is on number 8, and you need to use it quickly. But your hand is somewhere at 1, 2, 3 right now, you know? I do not know how many milliseconds it takes to actively move your hand over there, but it surely needs some time. Especially if you're unsure if your hand is really on number 8 right now, or maybe it's on number 9 or 7 or 0 or whatever. You know, you can make some mistakes like this. You can accidentally use some great cooldowns or something like this. You know, it basically becomes a guessing game, which is, you know, super bad. The next thing I want you to do is to unbind ASD. And if you want to take it a step further, you can also unbind W. Only use Q and E for movement, plus your left and right mouse button. Once you learn how to properly play with Q and E, which is called strafing, a whole new world will open up for you, because that's just the way to play. It's the most effective way to play. But why would you unbind WASD? Well, it's just too slow and ineffective to move like this. Sideways with A and D takes ages, and you do not want to backpedal with S, because that's just gonna make you a laughingstock, let's be real. ASD and also W make for some great keybinds. Many of my main abilities are on ASD. It's just the perfect position for your hand. Find it out yourself. You will see there's the perfect place for abilities. The next key I want to talk about is this one. It's called Circumflex. I use it for interrupt or mass dispel, depending on the class. It's the perfect hand position for such important abilities like kick, pummel, counterspell, earth shock rank 1, and so on and so on. You definitely won't make a mistake if you use Circumflex instead of some random key for such important abilities, right? Also, depending on your keybind, F1, 2, 3, and 4 are great choices for keybinds as well. They are quickly accessible and are on the left side of your keyboard, which makes total sense. It's totally perfect. I use F3 for my PvP trinket and the other F buttons for abilities with quite long cooldown like Innervate, Power Infusion, Inner Focus, and you don't always want to reach for the F buttons though, because they are just too far away to put some spammable abilities on there, you know what I mean? That would just be too annoying to always have your finger up there. So just use some abilities with longer cooldowns up there. The next keybinds require you to use your left pinky finger as well, because it's going to be shift keybinds. As you can see, I pass them using Shift A, Shift S, and Shift D. They're very comfortable to reach and can serve many purposes. I use them for defensive abilities. For example, Shift D is my pain suppression, Shift S is my fade, and so on. I also use Shift Q, W, E, and R. Those keys are used for abilities that I don't usually use a lot. In my case, they are Smite, Shadow Word Pain, Max Rank, Holy Fire, and whatever else you would need there. I also use Shift 1, 2, 3, and 4 for more keybinds in general. I'm using Shift 1, 2, 3, 4 for abilities which I do not use extremely often as well, such as Dispel Disease, Abolish Poison if I am a druid, or I can use an unused PvE trinket. I can use some consumables up there like Potion of Haste or whatever. It's very, very beneficial to still have those keybinds. The more the merrier, right? But if it is more comfortable for you, you can also use Control instead of Shift. You know, that's completely up to you if your hand is more comfortable in this position. And for my mount, by the way, I use a rather unusual keybind. It's even on the right side of my keyboard, so shame on me. But you can obviously choose another one if you like. I'm just telling you how I do it. I use number block 0 for my mount, as I don't need to use it randomly in a fight. Number block 0 sounds very exotic, right? But it's very comfortable actually. It's very comfortable. You never use a mount in a fight, usually. So it's a very non-annoying button for a mount. And you can try it out if you like it. Yeah, use it. And now, for all the PvP/TBC arena players, if you are not using an MMO mouse with 12 buttons on the side, I highly advise you do, because for each row of buttons, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you can put CC macros on there, like Fear 1, 2, 3, Cyclone 1, 2, 3, Counterspell, whatever there is. And you also want Enemy 1, 2, 3 buttons up there to quickly target your arena enemies if you want. And you can also put Party 1, 2, 3 up there if you're playing as a healer to quickly target yourself and your 2 other mates if you're playing 3v3, for example. That's crucial. That's you need that. That's essential if you want to rank up in 3v3, 5v5, 2v2, whatsoever. They're super important, and it really doesn't have to be an expensive Razer mouse. You know, I'm using this one right here. It's a Redragon mouse I bought like 6 years ago for 24 bucks. So it's really not a big deal. You don't really have to invest a lot of money if you don't have it or if you don't want. It's really just an improvement for the game. Instead of using, I mean, imagine you want to use your 1, 2, 3 macros on Shift 1, 2, 3, F1, F2, F3. That's just very annoying and very far apart. You want it all on one place. So an MMO mouse is really the way to go. And I think that's it for now. Tell me what you think of my keybinds. You know, suggest me something better if you don't like them. You know, give me some constructive criticism. But if you like it, just like it. Like the video, subscribe to me, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.